Hello, it's Marceline, the worthless trans lady here, and we're going to talk about Marina's story from Fear and Hunger to Termina. In addition, I personally believe she is a great or even one of the best examples of trans representation, and I want to explain why. I have to admit, this video took me the longest to make out of all the videos I've ever made. Yes, even longer than the Postal 1 video. When I say longest, I mean it. Every element of making this video took a long time to finish. That's the script, the editing, choosing the music, getting the footage, like every part of making this video. And there are several reasons why. The topic of this video has a lot of depth to it. Marina's story appears simple, but gets very complicated quick. You can't tackle it one way. There's so much to cover. As a trans person, this video is very personal to me, and it took a lot out of me when I spent time with it. This video is extremely important to me, and I really want to make sure I get it right. I want to make sure I explain everything correctly. Marina deserves it. Samarie deserves it. The Fear and Hunger games deserves it. Myro deserves it. And if I don't, then I will never forgive myself. So with that out of the way, let the video commence. Oh, my deepest apologies. There is a disclaimer. Fear and Hunger 2 Termina has themes, events, plots that are very, very dark. As a result, this video by its nature will have dark themes in it. You have been warned. Stay or go, that's your choice. If you're not too sure, then flip a coin for it. Alright, this video can truly commence. Oh, don't forget spoilers! Marina is one of the 14 participants who takes part in the Festival of Termina that's being held in Pre-Evil. She does some exploring. Then she finds a church. Oh, what's that? A wild Samarie stabs her father, cries out she did it for Marina? Then maybe send her back to the train? Then from there, different possible endings Marina could get. And oh yeah, she's also trans. The end? What? In the intro, I made it painfully clear that there was a lot to unpack. 1 second, Marina's best character, yeah. Something to do with, Silent Hill? What? That can't be right. I'm sorry. I thought there would be more. I'm not joking, I spent like forever on this video. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. That was a very brief and oversimplified version of events that happened to Marina. It really doesn't explain a whole lot. So let's fix that, and talk about every element that surrounds her story. Her past, the characters that are involved, and what she goes through in the story of Termina. Once we've covered everything in more detail, we can do another recap, but with the additional information we've gathered. Then, like wrapping a bow around a present, explain why she's an amazing representation of trans people. Hopefully by doing this, it will give you a better understanding of Marina's story. Also, there will be overlay/crossover regarding information when talking about Marina's story. I can't really help that. Fear and Hunger 2 has so many encounters and different variations of events. It's just gonna happen. I'm gonna repeat myself, so just saying. Oh, and there will be some extras too. Ooh, what could that mean? Let's talk about Marina's mother. Haha! You thought we were going to start with Marina. Wrong! Instead it's her mama. Marina's mother is a character who arguably impacted Marina's life the most, and we don't even get to see her. In matter of fact, she's deceased, meaning we only know her through others. This is a very important detail because when we're talking about her, especially her morals and who she is, we can only use secondary data, which means information from other characters. That's double important because characters have bias. That's triple important because bias means information they give isn't neutral. Quadruple important because I have bias too. You gotta be careful. Why am I streaming? With that said, only 2 people speak of Marina's mother. 2 secondary data. 2 different perspectives. They are her daughter Marina and her husband, Father Domek. Let's start with Marina. From her character history, we know that her mother saved Marina from a cruel and ruthless rituals that was linked to her family. How? Marina was born a male, meaning firstborn males would go through these ruthless and brutal rituals for Ulmer. So to save her baby from a difficult upbringing, Marina's mother chose to raise Marina as a daughter. She managed to fool everyone, even Father Domek, into thinking they had a daughter. In addition, Marina's mother never was involved nor practiced in these rituals, but she knew what her husband went through. Clearly, she didn't like it. We also know, as Marina was growing up and doing really well with her studies, she became proud of her. So that's what we learn from Marina. Her mother loved her baby so much and took a risk to give Marina a better life. Morally speaking, what she did was done out of love. It's clear that Marina's mother did not force Marina to be a girl for selfish reasons, but to save her from a difficult upbringing. I feel like Marina also shares this position, because she embraces being a female. Growing up, she learned about how brutal it was to take part in these rituals as a male, so she understood why her mother did what she did, and she doesn't show any expressive hatred or disdain towards her mother. On the other side of the coin, see what I did there? Father Dominic shows rather a lot of disdain towards his wife. A matter of fact, he also shows a lot of hatred and disdain towards Marina as well. Through his conversation with Samarie, he mentions that both his wife and Marina died in his eyes because of the secret. He says it's a disgrace, a coward's path. Okay, arsehole, your wife wanted to spare your child from going through some pretty bad things. Things you went through yourself. But wait, to Father Domek, he doesn't see the rituals as brutal or ruthless. That's because from his point of view, his background, him growing up, it makes sense why he shows disdain towards his wife and daughter. He grew up in the Church of Ulmer. These rituals weren't ruthless, but a path that males have to go through. It's engraved into his face that this is what the old gods demand. And as the leader of the Church of Ulmer, he must do his duty. Is it right to put your child through this? No, of course not. But it does explain why he is upset and shows hatred towards his wife. To him, it was destiny that his child would go through these ruthless rituals. But no, she stole that destiny and pretty much gave the old gods and even Dominic a middle finger and said, "Not with my baby." Is he an arse? Yes, but it's understandable why he is one. In addition, he uses the wrong pronouns when referencing Marina. It should be her mother, not his. It would be easy to label him as transphobic, I won't blame you, and spoiler, he is one, but he does address Marina properly later. It's a little complex. We'll talk more about that in his section of the video. In addition, you could argue in a way he still loved his wife. He found out and kept the secret. He could have told others and exposed the truth, but he kept it. Maybe deep down he still loved his family, but on the flip side, he could have done this due to pride and shame. You see, in religion and religious families, pride is a massive deal. If the truth came out, it would expose Father Domek. To others, they would think, why would he marry a disloyal wife? As the leader of the Church of Ulmer, he would be the laughingstock. Like, how was the leader of a bunch of dark priests get fooled into thinking he had a daughter, and this would lead him to get a lot of shame. So most likely he kept the secret to save his own skin. But hey, maybe there was a time where he loved his family. From these two different sources of information that have bias, I think Marina's mother was a decent person. I don't know if she was a saint, or someone who turned into a monster at midnight who ate children, but we do know that she was a mother who loved her baby. She wanted her baby to live a life away from the horrors of the rituals of the Church of Ulmer. In my opinion, this had a positive impact on Marina, because she has the freedom to study what she wants. She can wear what she wants, is allowed to be herself. I don't think we can say the same if she took part in the rituals like her father wanted. If Marina went through that, she would have a much, much painful and sad upbringing. Like a certain someone whose name begins with the letter S. So in the end, I think Marina's mother was a good mother. A mother who loved and wanted to protect her baby. I mean, isn't that what a mother should do? To love and protect her baby no matter what? To fight for their children? To give them the best life? So they can be happy? That's what Marina's mama fought for. And that's why I think she's amazing. All she wanted was to make her baby happy. The star of the video The best girl, my waifu, the best character in the game. She's in the cover art for the game. And you can't change my mind. So we're gonna have to do some pre-chart circle symbol drawing explanation before we dive into her story. There's Marina, the playable character, and then there's Marina, the non-playable character. There are differences. For one, playing as Marina lets you choose dialogue choices. Non-playable Marina has her own personality. She will move around on the land of pre-evil, and you can get different interactions with her. In a nutshell, you learn different pieces of information about Marina depending if you play as her or not. That means I gotta do double the work to cover both Marinas. Woo! For real though, I need to praise the game. All the characters are like this. It's a really cool way to encourage the player to replay the game. With that out of the way, let's go! Let's start with Marina's info. When selecting a character to play as, you learn their class, age, and their traits. Marina is an occultist. Based! She is 18, and she excels with otherworldly powers. Ooh, but she does lack in harmful and offensive skills department. Arguably, she's definitely not recommended for new players. She can be hella powerful, but the catch is you need to know what you're doing. In addition, she can't wield two-handed weapons. Mind you, the best weapons are two-handed ones. It feels really bad. I've made this mistake because in my first playthrough, I chose Marina, and I didn't know shit. And instead of doing a magic build, I did a melee build instead. And I regret it. But it was all worth it just for Marina. Best girl, best girl. I go for the pains just for the best girl. She's worth it. Now let's dive into her history. The very first lines about her history is how calming the sounds of the rail tracks are, and Marina isn't used to being around a peaceful and tranquil atmosphere. With only a few lines, we learn that her life has been iffy, filled with conflict. Plus, it's a very neat way of the game saying, the train is a safe zone. Marina reflects on her life. We learn she was born into the Church of Ulmer. We learn that her lineage took part in these wicked rituals just to appease the old gods. We then learn that dark priests within the church endure a cruel life. No place to be yourself. You can only give yourself to the old gods. Ah, no wonder Marina's mama didn't want that life for her baby. We learn through Marina that her mother had plans to protect her. As we know, she fooled everyone into thinking she had a daughter, and not a son. We're given an example that Marina dressed in clothes associated with females. Then we learn that her father was indeed fooled, or knew and denied what he saw. In my opinion, I think he knew. Next we learn that when Marina became a little older, she didn't question it either. She felt natural about herself. She wasn't conflicted about her identity, and who cares, right? That must have been so nice. Identity can be wild and messy and, Marina embraced her identity. That must have been really nice. I'm happy for her. So, at a very young age, she started religious studies. I can relate to that. I went to multiple religious schools. Fun. Ugh. Next, we have the choice element of her history. All the characters have this. It determines what skills your characters will start with. Again, gameplay-wise, this is so good, but we will brush these aside. Marina became a really talented occultist. Based! And even the Holy City of Vatican and the Ministry of Darkness. Wow, what a name. Was like, oh! Marina took their scholarship and went to the city. Marina wasn't just a regular occultist, she was a buff one. Based. We also learned that her life at home wasn't going well, and she saw this as a chance to explore. I don't blame her. Having an arsehole dad plus a lackluster hometown, why not? Marina's mama was always proud of her. And what we know about Marina's mama, of course she would be proud. Her daughter is growing up and exploring the world. She gets to be happy. That makes her happy. Her choice to save Marina from the brutal rituals was the right one. And of course her father is a jealous asshole. So much he's always shown disdain and loathing towards Marina and her pursuits. Why? It could be about what Marina's mother did, and to be honest it's most likely that, but we can't say for sure. Then, while everything was going smoothly for Marina, then she got a letter from her daddy-o. That's odd, because he never really had the best relationship with Marina. We know that they haven't spoken since she left for her studies. The letter informed Marina that her mother has passed. The letter's wording used tells us it was cold and with no sympathy. It appears Father Dominic isn't too upset about losing his wife. Interestingly, we don't know how she died. Maybe Marina will find out. Marina tries to communicate back to her hometown through a telephone. What's that? A wired mobile? But it's no use. Alarmingly, we learn that Marina is finding her father very sus. We learn through Marina he was obsessed with blood magic, and you know that many rites demanded the blood of your loved ones to work. She doesn't know for sure. Time to head home, back to Primeval, baby! Lastly, it's been a long time since Marina has been home. We learn a lot about Marina, her mother saving her by fooling everyone she had a daughter, Marina embracing her identity, she's returning back to her hometown. Her quest is to find out what the fuck happened. She's a girl on a mission to find answers. Does she? I don't know. Let's find out. Spoiler, I do know, but you know, I just thought I would do that just for, comedy purposes. Yeah. Let's talk about the events that happen with Marina before the big one at the church. There are several that take place early game if you are not playing as Marina. At the start, where everyone is introducing themselves, she does too. Plus, you can ask her additional questions. I won't show you the dialogue itself, because it's actually the best. You should definitely play it for yourself to experience it. If you're playing on easier mode, then Marina will give you a free Fear and Hunger stim book. Nice! Playing as Marina, if you sleep in the bed in the woodsman's house, a girl who is heavily breathing is watching her sleep. Ah! Who is she? Oh, it's a wild Samarie. We will learn more about her later. If you're not playing as Marina, and you choose to save Abella over Hendrik, by the way, you can't save both, you have to pick one. The one you don't save will turn into their Moonscorched form early. Hendrik, aka the Mayor, will kidnap Marina and lock her in a room. Again, she has the best dialogue, which I won't show you. Hey, it's Trans Mama here in editing, and I just realised I misnamed Henrik's Moonscorched form. He's not called the Mayor, even though that I thought it was because I'm a dumbass, not like Marina, but it's actually called the Gentleman. So yeah, that was a mistake on my behalf. I don't know why I was calling him the Mayor. I feel like just the Mayor. It sounds nicer, you know, like the Gentleman. It doesn't have the same touch to it, you know? The Mayor. So yeah, Gentleman. That's the name. That's the right name, yeah. See ya. We do learn more information though. Number one, she's pretty smart. She knows that this Mayor isn't really the Mayor, but one of the newcomers from the train. And number two, her hometown is in a much worse state than it was, or that she remembered. It had issues with religious morons, but it's definitely gotten worse. I love this dialogue a lot, because Marina was much younger when she was at her hometown. Memories tend to blur as we age. Maybe the town was always kind of messed up, but Marina didn't see it because of her youth eyes. Then in the mid-game, she has a moment in the bookstore. Playing as her, we learn that she used to spend hours here reading. Life was so much easier. Ah. On the flip side, if you're not playing as Marina, she can be found sitting on a chair, reading. Her dialogue comes down to, relax, this place is safe, forget about the outside world, etc. I love this so much because it shows you how comfortable she is here. Despite how awful the town is, there are some places where you can find comfort in it. That's true as fuck. Now, it's the encounter at the church. Marina enters the church of Ulmer and witnesses a commotion between Samarie, the girl from the woodsman's house, and her father? This girl is speaking on Marina's behalf and wants to get rid of Dominic. Uh-oh. Oh no, the commotion has escalated. Then Samarie stabs Daddy-O. Then she runs. No! What about Marina finding out answers? Wait, Dominic's still alive. Just barely though. But shows hatred towards Marina, his own daughter, in his dying moments, and then he dies and melts. Huh. Side note, this has always bugged me, and again, this is not me knocking the game, it's honestly me being petty, but I don't like how Marina's really quiet here. Like, she's witnessing this, she knows and hears Samarie is speaking on her behalf, but chooses not to say something. I don't know. Maybe she's afraid. Maybe she wants to see the events play out. We just don't know. But, I don't know. I'm being petty, but I wish Marina said something. You know? That's it. She gets no answers. just hatred from her father. Her journey was for nothing. The end. Game over. What? Wait. No. This can't be right. Let me look at this again. Ah! Maybe Marina can find some more answers. Let's look into Samarie and Father Dominic in more detail, shall we? And let's start with Samarie. Samarie, this girl. Oh baby, there's so much to unpack. Like, her overall involvement in the game is quite minimal, but she is so important when it comes to Marina's story. Let's shred our skin, shall we? At the very start of the game, if you go to the second cabin and quickly run to the end of it, for a split second you can see Samarie pop her head out, but then she quickly hides away and locks the door. If you knock on the door, nothing happens. If you try to call out someone, no reply. And if you attempt to view the cabin through the window, it's dark, as if someone is covering it up. If you're playing as Marina, then that's it. However, if you play as someone else, you can say, it's safe here. This leads to a conversation with Samarie. She asks if Marina is still in the other cabin. You can respond in 4 ways. If you ask who is Marina, she describes her and calls her special. Then you can follow up with 2 more choices. If you ask how do you know her, she quickly dismisses her and acts as if she doesn't know her at all. If you state that you will go and grab her, Samarie will repeatedly say no, and that she doesn't know her or anything. The next response is yes, she is. Samarie replies by saying she doesn't care to see me and she'll wait for her to go first, assuming she means leaving the train. Then states that Marina doesn't know she exists. She hasn't noticed her once. The third response is no, she isn't. Samarie is silent, and then says, I see. Girl, she knows you're lying. You can't fool her. The last response is asking, who are you? And I swear on Ulmer, her reply is eerie, like Pokey eerie from Mother 2. In Mother 2, if you don't help Pokey look for his brother, he states he'll say something that will cut you like a knife. Fuck! Samarie replies, no one, just a lonely caterpillar, waiting to shred her skin. That's totally not creepy at all. So, I have 2 takes on this whole caterpillar line she mentions. First one, she could be referencing the whole Moonscorched forms that everyone's gonna turn into by the day 3 of the festival. This also could be referencing Samarie's deformed body, her deteriorating body. We will talk about that later though. But for real, I don't know what this could mean. In addition, caterpillars is also a animal that is referenced as a symbolism for trans people. You know, the caterpillar, one life, cocoon, turns into a butterfly, a whole different life. Again, this will be more apparent in Marina's Moonscorched form, so in a way, maybe Samarie is trans? However, with the limited information we do have on Samarie, we don't know for sure, and I don't want to assume. However, regardless if she's trans or not, in this channel, we love Samarie. We simp for Samarie, so don't be hating on her, okay? We love her. So, what does this little interaction at the start of the game tell us about Samarie? 2 words. Obsession and sneaky. With very little dialogue and her actions hiding in the cabin, she is highly interested in Marina and she doesn't want to bring attention to herself. To be fair, we don't know much about her at this point of the game. We don't know her intentions. I don't want to label her with anything bad. Yet! That will change later. Believe me. For what it's worth, maybe she knows of Marina and her story. Maybe she hides because she hates interacting with people. I get that. I hate being around people too. People suck. They really do. I also want to mention, what sucks is you can't tell Marina about Samarie. I don't like that. I feel like Myra wanted to make sure Marina meets Samarie at the church. I understand that, but still, an option should appear. I don't know, even if you do bring Marina to the other cabin and nothing happens, it would have been nice to have that option, that interaction, but you know, I'm being petty. That's more of a pettiness than a critique. The next possible interaction with Samarie, and honestly one which you can easily miss, is when you are playing as Marina and you sleep at the woodsman's house. You hear heavy breathing. What? It's a wild Samarie. Every breath you take. Damn it, girl! Don't watch someone sleeping! So, Marina can respond in several ways. However, regardless of the dialogue choice you choose, in the end, Samarie goes, "Ka! Run away! Run away!" Importantly, Samarie mentions that Marina doesn't recognize her. But, Samarie, my darling, my love, you just said in the train, she doesn't know you. If you mind read her, she's nervous but very happy to meet Marina. She's very obsessed with her. You can also engage in a battle and attack her, and at the start of the battle it states, Samarie is creeping around. Oh god, I mean Ulmer. To mention this now, if you're any other character, Samarie will always attack you, but if you're Marina, she refuses. Nice details. Nice. Now it gets a little complex regarding Samarie's path. We know that Samarie confronts Father Dominic. He gets the stabby, but there are several outcomes to Samarie's story. Finding her by day 1 morning at the church, which you can potentially save her. If saved, she will return to the train. Finding her after day 1 morning though, she can be found by the Pillar of Flesh, where she eventually transforms into her Moonscorched form, and you are forced to fight her. Plus, there are even more variations if you're playing as Marina, playing as someone else, alone, or playing as someone else with Marina in your party. Jeez Louise! Let's start with the encounter with Father Domek. From Samarie's point of view, her goal is to kill Father Domek. She states she needs to do this. She is aware of who he is, what he has done, and what he will do. Maybe. Ooh. If we take her words at face value, then she is protecting Marina. Her father was going to harm her. He was causing her so much pain, and in her eyes, to truly make Marina happy, safe, Father Domek has to die. She even claims Marina wants him dead too. This also brings up the question of how Samarie knows the Marina's family lore. Was she stalking Marina when she was a baby? Maybe Samarie is older than she looks. Maybe she's a private eye. Or maybe, just maybe, she mind reads. I don't know, that sounds pretty creepy. Now, the thing is, some of what she's saying is true, but other parts is definitely questionable. Like, she's right about Father Domek making Marina's life difficult. This is because of how brutal and ruthless the rituals are for the Church of Ulmer. Sure, Marina growing up as a daughter saved her from being a part of those rituals, but that doesn't mean growing up was easy. She did have a rocky relationship with her dad after all. On the other side of the coin, it's kind of sus that Samarie is speaking on behalf of Marina. How does she know that Marina wants her father killed? In matter of fact, we know she came to pray evil because she wanted answers. And that's not the same as Daddy Domek getting a little old chop. What makes this worse is Samarie steals that opportunity from Marina. After she stabs Dominic and runs, they have a brief moment together, and he dies. Marina can't ask about her mother, or what happened to pre-evil. Hell, she can't even ask her own dad how he's doing. Her purpose, her goal is to find answers. And now, she'll never know. All she gets is some hateful words from Dominic. And if Samarie returns to the train, some additional information, but that's also quite questionable. It's really sad. She won't know how her mother died, the one person who wanted her to be happy. So there's definitely some moral dilemma with Samarie's actions. She wanted to kill Father Domek. Father Domek attacks her first. She kills him in self-defense. Does that make Samarie a murderer? It's weird, like morally grey weird. So in the real world, well, in the land where I live, UK, British cup of tea, this would be 100% murder. Intention is the key. Self-defense or not, she stated she wants to kill him, make him vanish. That's the UK law. But I have to play devil's advocate. This is just assumptions based on her character, but I don't think she would have done it. I think she truly was defending herself because she had to. Look at Samarie. She's soft, timid, shy, weak. Like, I'm not trying to say that in a bad way. I mean, she's really small. She's not strong. She's shy and nervous when talking to Father Domek. Look at her. She's not a killer. How about her interactions at the woodsman's house? She could have harmed Marina, tied her up, or did other bad things, but she didn't. She's stealthy, sneaky, and could have killed Father Dominic from behind or while he wasn't paying attention. She nervously spoke to him, only when Father Dominic grabbed her and attacked her, which forced Samarie to take action. Now, I am getting ahead of the story, but when she returns to the train and we learn about her, we learn that her body is deteriorating. It's messed up. It's deformed. No wonder she reacted the way she did. She's very sensitive about her body. She hates others touching her, especially when a vile man, a man she hates, a man who hates the one she loves, touches her, slaps her. It goes beyond being in her personal space. That piece of shit is invading her comfort zone. She must be feeling really uncomfortable. To stop this, she rightfully defends herself. Raiders, you need to try and understand her position. No woman wants to be touched by some vile pig man. It's horrible. Now add that to Samarie's body. She's extremely sensitive due to it being deformed, and she's small. She's vulnerable. She's shy. She's not used to being around people. So this situation, those few seconds, must have been hell for her. She had to end it. She did so by defending herself. In my opinion, she did nothing wrong. Father Dominic attacked her first. She was defending herself. The sad truth is, a lot of women get harassed, attacked, and abused by men. Sometimes they don't have anything to defend themselves with. Remember, men are genuinely much bigger than women. They can overpower them. You hear stories of women getting abused by men when they go out. Again, and again, and again, and again. For the women watching this video, please, if you ever go outside, travel with a friend, and have something to protect yourself with. Because men, well, they have a history for harming women. Yeah, that just got real for a second, but I just want to emphasize the point that, you know, Samarie was attacked by a man, and men attack women all the time. And regardless of her intentions or not, which, mind you, I don't think she wanted to do it, she had to defend herself. And, you know, I think there's nothing wrong with that. And before someone comments, not all men, I'm not saying all men. I'm just saying there's a history of men abusing women, and it repeats itself quite often. So yeah, back on track. So, that was the encounter with Father Dominic from Samarie's point of view. Like I mentioned, her path can go several places, and we can learn more about her. The best outcome for Samarie is saving her by morning day 1, and sending her to the train. 1, you save another soul through the horrors, if you get a certain ending, and number 2, you learn more about Samarie. You understand Samarie more. You learn about where she came from and her story. You show empathy towards Samarie. You feel bad for her. She is very flawed, trust me, we'll get to that soon, but you do feel for her. Well, I do anyway. I love her. And I have bias, I know that. So, Samarie has committed the self-defense stabbings. She's hiding in a corner, freaking out. This is where you can save her or force to kill her if you're not careful with your dialogue choices. In addition, like I mentioned, depending if you're Marina or a different character, Samarie's dialogue is different. Let's start with Marina. Before the dialogue even begins, mind reading, Samarie is in shock. The deed is done, and she regrets it. Further hammers my point that she's no killer. She never was. Asking Samarie what happened leads to more mind reading. She's telling herself she took the knife and wanted this. Then it's followed by more regret. There's no going back. She's right. Some actions, there's simply no going back. Like losing your virginity, or taking a life. Once it's done, there's no going back. She freezes, still in shock. Asking her if she's alright, she shows more regrets. Then she notices Marina, shouting, "It was for her!" As Marina, you can ask if she knows her. Samarie gets confused. What? She introduces herself to Marina. By the way, nice detail when her name changes from black-haired girl to Samarie's name in the dialogue box. I love little details like that. Anywho, Samarie states again she did it for her. Then she says she did it for us. Samarie loves Marina so much. And again, she shows so much regret. And we can't forget, she saw the nightmare at the start of the game too. You know, how that servant dude wants them to kill each other? But Samarie never wanted to do that. Okay, it's time to calm her down. So, you gotta be careful and choose the correct dialogue choices, or else you will get into a fight. So, in the end, she blames the moon god's servant dude and calms down. Once she's calmed down, you can ask for her name. Again, she's like, you know me from the train. Plus, asking again what happened, she just shakes her head. Poor baby. Then you can ask her to go back to the train. She refuses. Of course, you can persuade her, and she wants you to join her. Bless her. Bless her so much. It's a promise, darling. Also, you can learn that she uses red arts to travel. Just a reminder, occultist class are based. Now, if you're playing as a different character, Samarie will only make references to Marina, saying it was for her, or if she doesn't understand, and I love that detail. I just love that Samarie just won't open up to a different playable character. You have to be Marina, or else she just won't be open to you. And that's what we call character agency. Marina is the love of her life. Marina is the one she loves. Of course she's gonna be open with her, but not with a random stranger. I love this, you know, it's good writing. In addition, regardless if you're Marina or someone else, if you are mean to her and call her mad, she gets upset and attacks. You do get a second chance to avoid this fight. This reminds me of Eddie from Silent Hill 2, you know, when James calls him nuts! Maybe that's a reference to Eddie? I don't know. Eddie killed a dog, and Samarie killed a dog named Dominic. But this is not the best outcome. That poor girl went through hell and had to defend herself. She's in a state of panic. She needs some comfort right now. Maybe Marina could give her a hug. A hug? Myro? Add that to the game? Even if you hate Samarie and think she's a murderer, killing her isn't right. Two wrongs don't make a right. Plus, you miss out on learning more about her. Now, let's meet Samarie on the train. Look at that. She's not even sitting on the train seats. She's so full of regret with what happened that she's sitting on the floor. That poor girl. Then we finally get an explanation from Samarie. She starts off by having conflicted feelings about killing Father Domek. Did she mean to or not? But she wasn't going to do it, right? Then a very important piece of information is given to us. She states that Father Dominic was evil and was bad, and she read his thoughts, his mind. He was vile. The thing is, she can mind read, alright? But, from Marina's perspective, what Samarie is saying is only a claim. But the thing is, Samarie is many things, and trust me, we'll get to the not so good aspects about her. I personally believe that she isn't a liar. Why did she go through all that for a lie? Maybe if it was a lie she believed in it, but I don't know. I don't think she's a liar. In addition, when Dominic grabbed Samarie, she states she saw that glimmer in his eyes. If we do believe Samarie, which I do, Marina was in danger if she encountered her father alone at the church. In the end, Samarie doesn't want Marina to think she's a monster. Reading her mind though, it tells us that she overthinks a lot. Fears that Marina has judged her already. We also learn that Samarie is from Vatican. That's where Marina went to study. When asking what she studied, she explains, no, not study. The Ninth Circle. She was kept at the Ninth Circle at the Ministry of Darkness. Marina shivers hearing that name. We learn that the Ninth Circle was a place where children who were naturally gifted would be locked inside. Their bodies would wither away in an ancient rite to get messages from the old gods, all without luck. This is only what Marina heard about the Ninth Circle. In reality, it was probably even worse. Samarie wasn't a student. She was taken away as a child, abused, left to rot, in the name of the old gods. Her body is deformed, deteriorating. No wonder she reacted the way she did when she was grabbed and attacked by Father Dominic. That trauma she went through kicked in. Visions of her time in the Ninth Circle. That poor girl. A lamb made for the sacrifice. No wonder she fell for Marina. In love with her. They are connected. Marina escaped the fate of the Ulmer rituals. Samarie didn't escape the fate of the Ninth Circles. She must have saw Marina and read her mind, her thoughts, learnt about her. She could have justifiably been angry, hateful that a pretty girl escaped a cruel fate, the one she has to endure now. Instead, she saw hope and love. Hope to keep living. Now she only wishes to be by her side, by her Marina's side, the one she loves. She loves Marina. Marina is her motivation to live. So we learn that Samarie never studied at Vatican. She was taken as a child and abused for most of her life. Damn. I wanna hug her, like, so bad. That poor girl. Myro, please, for the love of the old gods, let us hug her in the train. Also, maybe add romance path? They're girlfriends, damn it. No, I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for romance options in games, but you know, you could add one, maybe. But for real though, I really want to hug Samarie, and I wish there was a hug option. Honestly, I want to hug her. So we have the dialogue tree. We can ask if the ninth circle is real. Duh! Did you follow me here, Joe? No, don't say it like that. You make it sound so wrong. Following someone is pretty creepy. I don't want to sound like I'm defending her, it's just I don't blame her for doing it. She's been abused heavily. For her, being close to Marina is how she copes. Not defending her, it's understandable in her situation why she did it. Then you can be a dick and say, why you killed Dominic because you got it bad at the ninth circle? Wow, you dickhead. Why are you being a dick? But what Samarie responds with is arguably, in my opinion, the most heartbreaking lines in the game. When I read this, I actually paused, and I actually got teary. And this was the moment that I loved Samarie. And even with all her flaws, which we will get to, you know, I can't hate Samarie, you know? Like, I love her, and she deserves to be happy too. She first explains that Marina wanted this. She read her thoughts. This could be true. I say could because even though we don't hear Marina outright say she hated her father, with what little information we do get from Marina, she had no love for him. Then Samarie says she did it for Marina. That she doesn't mind if something happens to her. Her body is deteriorating and fast, all thanks to the abuse she endured as a child. This means she's on borrowed time. She has limited time to live. Her life is coming to an end shortly. And what she did was a gift for Marina. Her gift. Samarie, my queen, my love, you could have given her a flower or a book. But I guess killing her dad is a cooler gift? No! Then she says, I want my remaining life to have meaning. You are my meaning. Samarie doesn't care how that sounds. She loves Marina. I love you, Marina. I guess what I said about Marina giving her love and hope, well, you can times that by 1,000. It's kind of beautiful, really. And with our world becoming more complex and messy, and making friends is becoming more difficult, that's a rare thing. Like, so many people, they just use words. They say, I love you, you're the best, blah blah blah, but they don't really mean it. Words is words. Words is cheap. But Samarie, she goes beyond words. She takes actions, which is questionable, by the way. But she does care for Marina, and, well, I think that's special. That's rare, and that is beautiful. And of course, there is no romance in this game. Boo! No, I'm just joking. For real though, it does make sense. Marina doesn't know Samarie, and it would just be such an out of character moment for them to be in romance together and stuff. But you never know. Romance path coming in the next patch, baby! Maybe. That was a joke. Or maybe a DLC. No. Myro apparently hates DLCs and the concept of the DLC, so no, that's probably not gonna happen. One can dream. So yeah, I feel bad for Samarie. I don't know. When I see stories where kids get hurt and abused for like their whole life, I get really emotional. I really want to hug Samarie so much, like a big one. But being careful though, because of her body, you know, she's sensitive about it. So, you know, I give a nice, soft, big hug. Okay, I gotta stop simping for Samarie. Back on track. So, Samarie, you're not gonna hurt anyone else. Of course not. She's not a killer. Jeez Louise. Also, that feeling when Samarie says, love you to Marina, and asking if Marina is okay. Ah! Give us a romance path, Myro! You devil! You devil! Sorry. That's the train chat with Marina. How about with a different playable character? What are the differences? Simple. You get nothing from Samarie. She's actually pretty dismissive. To be honest, I'm like that. If you're a random stranger and you're trying to chat to me, I'm just gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna talk to you. Sorry, lol. You do learn some things though. She used the looooong symbol after everyone left the train to get to the church quickly. And get the fuck out of my mind, you creep! In addition, there are additional dialogue. Wow, I said addition twice, like next to each other. What is wrong with me? I can't write sentences. Between Samarie and Marina regarding the third day. We do learn that Samarie knows about the festival. That means only her and Osa knew what they were going into. And she is happy and proud to die together with Marina. Because humans can do very little against the gods. No, baby, no, you're gonna make me cry. That was a roller coaster of emotions, but we're not done yet. There is still finding Samarie after morning day 1. It's monster time! Do the monster mash! The monster mash! The monster mash! If you fail or intentionally not reach Samarie at the church by morning day 1, she will turn into Dysmorphia! I don't know why I sang it. It's just... why did I sing it? That word! I don't know! Before she does, you learn more about her. If you are anyone but Marina, Samarie is pissed! Nothing you say will calm her down. She wants Marina, the one she loves. She talks about how she wanted to surprise Marina, and you ruined it. You can't leave. You can't leave! And a wild Dysmorphia appears. We will talk about the Moonscorched forms in its own section, so just keep that in mind. So, no matter what you say, she will turn, and you must fight her. From this, it's clear that Samarie feels like you're butting in her business. Plus, since you couldn't reach her by morning day 1 to calm her down, her feelings of regret has taken over, and to cope, she's embracing what she's done. She cannot be reasoned with. Let's see what happens when Marina is in your party. Remember, this is the non-playable Marina. She has her own personality. So Samarie is pleased to see her. She's so happy. It's Marina! But Marina doesn't know her. They didn't have that chat in the train. But Samarie isn't thinking straight. She gets offended. She insists this world she has made for the both of them, where no one can judge us. We can be one. Oh god, marriage flashbacks, marriage flashbacks! Marina repeats herself. I don't know you. What the fuck are you talking about? But Marina retorts and says she only came to Perival due to her father's letter, not because of Samarie. Samarie's stress, mind is rotting, she's freaking out, the walls around her are whispering conspiracies. The loathing howls. Here comes the not so good part. Here's why people rightfully dislike Samarie. It's very important for me to say that I'm not going to defend her for what she has done. All I want to mention is, remember, she's been abused and her mind isn't right. It's jumbled up, you know, her idea of love and obsession, they're mixing together. So through that perspective, it makes sense why she does what she does. But I'm not defending her. So, she states they shared the most private times together. She's seen Marina's true self, whatever that means. Spending hours getting her makeup right, watching her caress herself. That means watching Marina masturbate. Oof. Watching her waking up to finish the book she fell asleep to. And yeah, this is bad. This is obsession. This is awful. Again, I need to say this. No, I have to say this. Samarie has endured abuse since she was a child. Her idea of love, it's disjointed. I know I said Marina gave her hope and love. I still stand by that. Marina gave Samarie a reason to live. It's just... she's just misguided. She's not a bad person. Yes, this is wrong. I am not defending her actions. What I'm trying to say is that she needs support and help. Marina gave her hope and love, and that's sort of turned into obsession. She doesn't know better. She needs love and care, not hate. You don't have to like her, and I think her stalking is vile. Just please just don't call her a monster. We all done some terrible things, and I think it's more productive to help bring change in others than to shame them and outcast them from society. Then Samarie brings up that Marina wanted her father to die. Marina says, "Nani?" Remember, in Marina's character history, she was definitely sus about her dad being the one who killed her mother. Maybe she did or didn't have thoughts about killing him. Then Samarie confesses to killing Father Domek, and Father Domek is Father Woo. Marina is like, what the fuck? Then she insults Samarie, then tells her to do one. Interestingly, she says short to life. Myro, I love you, but how does she know Samarie has little time to live? Unless she's referencing her height. Sassy baka. Then, Monster Mash! Marina sighs. Of course, if you are Marina and you find Samarie, you have dialogue options, and you can be less aggressive, but you get the same result. Samarie turns into Dysmorphia. A small detail which kind of gets missed is that Marina could be lying when Samarie tells her that she wanted her dad dead. Maybe she did have those thoughts. We can't know for sure, but she could be lying. And that covers Samarie. So, how do I feel about her? Is she good, bad? And importantly, is she good for Marina? Is she a good ally? Ultimately, I believe that she isn't a bad person. She's someone who couldn't escape the brutality of the Ninth Circle. Her story is literally what if Marina's mother failed to save her baby. Samarie is a victim of those awful practices, abuses, rites and rituals to appease the old gods. Her body is broken, deformed, deteriorating. Her skin is so pale because she was locked in a room since she was a child. It's safe to assume that there was a moment, just a little moment, where she could witness the outside world, and then she saw Marina. She read her thoughts, learnt about her, connected with her. That gave her hopes and dreams. She fell in love with her. Marina is Samarie's purpose for living. She has a will to live. That's why, for me, it's heartbreaking to see that Samarie has become obsessed with Marina to the point where it's very unhealthy. It's stalking. It's very uncomfortable how far she's taking it. This is due to the abuse she's endured. In her eyes, this is okay. She needs to be with Marina all the time. Share those private moments together. That's what lovers do. And she's misguided. She doesn't know what's wrong and what's right. Again, I keep saying this, but I have to say this. I am not defending her actions, but she needs help and support and a hug when we see her at the train. Damn it, Myro! Sorry. Then we have the whole Father Domek situation. I will be very, very clear on this. She is not a killer. She's only defending herself. That doesn't make her a murderer. Her body is dying. She's on borrowed time due to the abuse she endured. She's finally free of the Ninth Circle, and then some religious authority figure, who most likely had plans to kill Marina, attacks her. Enough was enough. She was not gonna take any more abuse. And yes, it sucks that she indirectly stole Marina's chance to find answers. But she had to defend herself. She's not a monster. She's just misguided. Her actions were out of love for Marina. It's not from a place of hatred. She's not evil. She needs love and support. It's so easy to blame and vilify Samarie. But she's a victim. She's not innocent, but still, she's a victim. And I believe that people can grow and can learn from their mistakes. I think Marina would help her too. And that's Samarie's involvement in Marina's story. She's a misguided guardian angel who loves Marina. She loves her so much. In addition, in my opinion, she captures the best and worst aspects of being an ally. She loves Marina, will do anything for her, support her, make sure no one will taint her new world. She loves her more than life itself. It's admirable in a way. Don't we all want someone like her in our lives, supporting us, loves us, wants us to be happy? Of course we do. However, the way she goes about it is very counterproductive. It's harmful, to be honest. Why? Not once did Samarie approach Marina. Not once did she ask, how can I support you? Instead, she takes her own actions thinking it's what Marina wanted, and it ends up backfiring. You see, she has indirectly made it about herself, and not Marina. You can say and be a true supportive ally. However, if you are taking actions based on what you think is best and not listening to those who you want to support, that makes you a bad ally. Using a real life example, in the Black Lives Matter movement, white allies tend to make it about themselves. They will speak and act on behalf of black people, and they want a fucking medal. That's not being an ally. Being an ally means listening to black individuals and supporting them. That's it. You don't get a medal. And Samarie captures both the best and worst aspects of being an ally. The fact that Marina is trans, and as a trans person myself, allies are so important. I felt there was a connection. Lastly, Samarie might be the worst ally ever, which isn't directly her fault, by the way, but in the chat in the train proves, in my opinion, that allies can learn from their mistakes and be better. We're only human, after all. We suck, okay? Humans just suck, but we can learn and improve. We can support each other. What's the first step? That's simply asking, how can I support you? How can I be a better ally? There's no shame in asking. I truly believe Samarie can be a good person. No, a great person. A great ally. I think she can be friends. Great friends, or even lovers. Sorry, with Marina. She can truly support her. I truly believe that if both survive the horrors, Marina gives Samarie that chance. Samarie asks, how can I do better? And she learns, and they become good friends. I know in Myro's games, they tend to be cruel and bitter, and having a happy ending, like, you know, lovers together and stuff like that. It's not in the game's nature to do so, you know. But I think, and this is just me here, I think if any characters deserve a happy ending, it's Marina and Samarie. Also, they become lovers, get married, live in a castle, and teach their kids occultist stuff, baby! Because occultism is based. And you know what? I'm not even gonna say sorry. I don't care. Marina and Samarie are girlfriends, and I regret nothing. Last, and to be honest least, it's Father Domek. Where do I even start? I know, let's cover everything that doesn't involve Marina and Samarie first. We know from Marina's mother that he went through the cruel and ruthless rituals that took place in the Church of Ulmer, and this has shaped him into who he is, a follower and the leader of the Church of Ulmer in Pre-Evil. Growing up, he met and later married Marina's mother. In addition, he is the headmaster in the orphanage. There's literally a painting of him when you enter it. Oh boy, the orphanage looks really bad. It looks like it's been maintained poorly, hence all the floor traps when entering it. The place is falling apart. Then there is the hangman in the playground. Yeah, an orphanage is meant to be a shelter for kids with no parents. And there is a tool designed to kill people in the playground. Not a nice place. And I need to also mention Father Hugo. Not only is he a tough fight, but during the fight he takes off his clothes. Penis visible and everything. To me, this really implies that sexual abuse took place within the orphanage. He's so comfortable taking off his clothes. Now, I can't say that's 100% what happened. However, with the similarities between Ulmer and Christianity, and the history of fathers abusing children, especially young boys, in religion, yeah, Marceline isn't a betting trans queen, but if I was, then I would bet the kind of abuse did take place within the orphanage. Again, this place was meant to be a shelter, a home for children with no parents, and it must have been beyond horrible for them. They must have felt there was no hope in this hell. No hope at all. So, Father Dominic, the headmaster of the orphanage, allowed this to happen. The question does pop up if he actually ran it or was just something for his title, because there are other god signs within the orphanage, one of them being Salivian, the god of sex and lust, right next to Father Hugo, Jesus Christ. Remember, Father Dominic believes in Ulmer. Now, there is a chance he never really ran the orphanage, or it was just a second thought. Regardless, for allowing such horrors to take place in his orphanage, he is at fault. He is to blame for the victims who suffered in it, those poor children. Then there was a giant statue of the Ulmer symbol in the town. That made sense. That was the religion that was dominant in pre-evil. What I want to talk about regarding the statue is the ritual event that can take place. If you fail a coin flip by the priest in the mayor's manor, you will be forced to take part in this ritual. You lose your legs, you get nailed to it like a crucifixion. The townspeople start dancing, time goes by, and it's all in the name of Ulmer. What's interesting is that it's not a game over. They don't kill you. The purpose is for the player to suffer like Ulmer. August saves you. Why did I say it like that? He aids you by giving you a chance to escape, and he also leaves your ass. What an ass. Why is this so important, and why does it link to Father Dominic? This is the only time ever do we see one of the rituals of Ulmer take place. Wow, this is brutal and cruel. If that what happens to those who are outside of the religion, what the fuck takes place in it? No wonder Marina's mother wanted to keep her baby safe. This is just a taste of what happens within the Church of Ulmer, and Father Domek leads this. He gives it the okay. He gun runs the whole show. It's kind of sad because we know he probably went through a horrible experience growing up. It's ironic. It's depressing. It's sad. He suffered growing up in the name of Ulmer. Now he makes others suffer in the name of Ulmer. There's also a dual narrative here. Marina escaped such a fate and was free. Father Dominic was chained to it and it consumed him. Religion, people. It sucks. Now, it's time to talk about the encounter with Samarie. So, Samarie is trying to get Father Dominic's attention by bringing up Marina. Like I mentioned before, he says they're dead in his eyes. He uses the wrong pronouns for Marina. Then tells Samarie you won't find Marina here. Then he uses the correct pronoun, but quickly uses the wrong one. Don't worry, like I said before, we will talk about him using the wrong pronouns. Samarie is going on about him being the last thing in Marina's way. It's too late. She's here anyway. Father Dominic needs to father vanish. Boom! So, Dominic's reaction to hearing Marina isn't evil is really telling. He is pissed. Samarie calls him out. He then grabs Samarie and beats her. This is pretty uncomfortable to watch. It's also very telling of Father Dominic's character. He doesn't ask any more questions or tries to reason with Samarie. He just goes straight into the harming her physically part. It tells us he's still bothered by what his wife did. He's still upset over Marina for taking the cowardly path. He's letting it out on Samarie. He tries to use his power of authority over her, both his position as a leader and physically. That backfires, and he gets stabbed by Samarie in an act of self-defense. In my opinion, I feel like he's been holding back his anger and hatred for so long. He's had enough. Some random girl gets all in his business about it, and he's had enough, but he chose the wrong target. He calls Samarie a dirty whore. You're already unlikable, but please make yourself more of a piece of shit. Then Samarie runs away, and then we have a chat between Marina and her father. The encounter with Samarie tells us so much about him. He still hasn't let go of what his wife did. He's still so bitter. He even attacked Samarie with physical abuse. Now, he may have reacted like this because he didn't want Marina to be in evil. By the way, that doesn't excuse his behaviour and the abuse he gave to Samarie. No matter how much you're freaking out, that does not give you the entitlement to hit women. Sorry, but that's just wrong. His letter was meant to keep Marina away. He was freaking out. Yes, we will talk about the letter in a bit, but no, I don't think that was the cause of reaction. Like, he clearly hates Marina. It's not like he's like, oh no, I gotta find my daughter and save her. But first, let me grab Samarie and beat her. What a bitter old man. After the encounter with Samarie, Marina proceeds to talk to her father, who is dying, but he's still got a little bit of life in him. He sees his daughter and calls her a stupid girl for coming back. I know, he's addressing Marina correctly, with the right pronouns. Then he explains that the letter was meant to end it. She has no more ties to this place. Then he melts into the ground? Ugh. The conversation is weird. Some people have claimed that this moment proves that he still loved his daughter in the end. He never wanted Marina to come back, take part in the festival. Now, you can think of that, but I do have issues with this take. Number one, that's a lot to assume. Moments ago, he just called his wife and Marina, by the way, he used the wrong pronoun, dead in his eyes. Then there's the purpose of the letter. They assume it's meant to keep her away, when it should have made Marina want to go to pre-evil more. Don't forget, Samarie implies that he wanted to do something to her. We will dive into the letter in a bit. Number 2, he's not happy to see his daughter. He straight up calls her stupid. Like, grrr, I guess he might have loved her in the end. There is that chance he loved his wife and daughter, but to me, he's not giving off that vibe. We can't forget he was obsessed with blood magic, the one that requires a loved one's blood to work. So, take that as you will. So, the letter. What was its purpose? Did Father Dominic want to save Marina? Did he really want her to stay away? Or did he want to harm her? To do something to her? So, here is my take on the letter. That letter, without a doubt, made Marina return. Why do I believe this? There's always a lack of communication between Marina and her father, and now of all times, he wants to communicate to Marina. On top of that, he tells her that her mother has passed away. No further explanation. He won't even answer the calls from Marina. On top of that, I can't blame my Queen Marina for returning home. She needs answers. It's so clear that letter took her full attention. She was studying and seemed to enjoy it. Then the letter came and went, "Pay attention to me!" Like it was calling to her. If he really did want her to stay away, maybe not sending the letter was the better idea. It's not just with the letter, but the reaction of who's reading it. Father Dominic was never fond of Marina. He didn't know her character. So, if he really didn't want Marina to return, why send the letter? He doesn't know her, doesn't know how she will react to the letter. Why risk it? It's kind of like with James in Silent Hill 2. That letter made him come back to Silent Hill, if it existed in the first place. And we can't forget that Samarie makes the claim that Father Dominic did actually want to do something to Marina. She can read minds after all. Like I mentioned in Samarie's section, I don't believe she's a liar. She has many feigns, but a liar? I think not. Again, Father Dominic's reaction after Samarie mentions Marina is telling. If he did have a plan to do something to Marina, it makes sense why he's freaking out. In the end though, it's up to you to decide if she's telling the truth or not. For me, I see no reason why she would lie. Maybe that's why she wanted to kill him. Maybe he was going to kill Marina. She had to stop him. I don't know, it's something to consider. So yeah, the letter could be a little element of his plan. If he had a plan. Now there is the opinion that Dominic tried to save Marina. Like he said, she has no ties to this place anymore. Now, I may not like this take, but I'm not against this opinion. I just need more proof. Right now, there's a lack of info that hints at this. There's much more to support the idea he wanted to do something to her. Yes, before you raise his comments, the plot and Myro demanded Marina to take part in the festival. This is the moon god's doing. And all I have to say to that is, yeah, fair enough. Gods be damned though. Why are all the gods such vile pieces of shit? The letter situation reminds me a lot of the one that happens in Game of Thrones. Now, I don't want to say too much, but if you're interested, look up Lysa's letter. Before we conclude Father Dominic's section, we have to ask, is he transphobic? It's weird because he addresses Marina correctly and incorrectly. Plus, it's very clear he shows no love towards his wife or his own daughter. So, as a trans person myself, in my opinion, at worst, yes, he's transphobic. And at best, he's still transphobic. But he is showing signs he's being tolerant towards Marina. I think it's very fair and understandable to call him transphobic. Just because he addresses Marina correctly doesn't change the fact that he's still an awful person and transphobic. Sure, he's kinda respecting Marina and who she is. I said respecting and not accepting. That's a big difference. I think Father Dominic is being tolerant of Marina. Like, he's clearly not happy, and he's not accepting. But him addressing Marina correctly shows that he's acknowledging it. Acknowledging who she is. He's not going to fight that. Marina is Marina. He can't change that. Now, just to remind you, this is just one trans lady's take on this. If there are other trans people watching this video, please speak up. I would love to learn your opinion about this. Now, I have seen some people say he's not transphobic. I know. I get it. It would be nice for the moody arsehole Dominic to accept his daughter. Accept Marina for who she is and love her. But my raiders, as a trans person, I need to be clear. very clear. That's not acceptance. He still holds hatred in his heart. At the best, at the very best, there are signs of tolerance. That's not the same as acceptance. In the end, Father Dominic was a bad person, a bad father, a bad headmaster. Most likely he had plans to harm Marina. He had hatred for his family and put God above everyone else, even himself. As we know, to be a dark priest, there is no place for self. You know what's sad? There are plenty of people like this in our beloved Mother Earth, using religion to act in harmful manners. I want to give credit to this vile man. The Fair and 100 games are full of wild stuff. Magic, pinecone pig, gods, mixing herbs, needles. It's a fantasy. But you know what? Father Dominic and his church and his orphanage are probably one of the more realistic things in the games. There are so many people out there that are like him. You could argue that people like him are the real horror of our world. Living among us. That's the monsters I'm scared of. The ones who can't accept me for who I am. Who will take actions against people like me. Trans people aren't monsters. We're people. Who just want to be treated like people. I do wonder, do we blame people like Father Dominic? Or is the root cause of his hatred come from religion? What really sums up his whole section really beautifully is Marina's interaction with her father's painting at the orphanage. Should she feel anger or sadness? We've covered every element of Marina's story now, so let's do a recap like in the start of the video, but with the new, added information. Marina is on the train returning to Pre-Evil, her hometown, from her studies at Vatican. She loves studying there, but without knowing, Samarie saw her and fell in love with her and became obsessed with her. She was abused in the ninth circle, but seeing Marina has given her hopes and dreams. She's found love. Back to the train, Marina is reflecting on her past. We learn she was born into the Church of Ulmer in Pre-Evil. Her father, Dominic, is the one who leads it. We know that being born as a firstborn male in the Church of Ulmer leads to going through pretty rough rituals. Father Dominic went through them too. However, Marina's mother, in an effort to save her baby from going through that as well, fooled her husband and others into thinking she had a daughter. She was raised to be one. Marina never had any major conflicts about her identity and embraced being a female, which I may say again must have been really nice. She loved to read and loved to study, which led her to study at Vatican. Her mama was so proud, but her father was dismissive. She enjoyed her studies until she got a letter from her father. The letter explained her mother has died, and the tone of the letter is cold and cruel. Maybe this letter was to keep Marina away, or maybe it was intended to bring her back home. We don't know for sure, but regardless, this motivates Marina to go back home to find answers. The train stops at Pre-Evil, and Marina sets off. Little does she know, Samarie is following her, and is staying at the other cabin. She too has plans with Father Dominic. Before Marina gets to the church, it's been a long trip on the train, so she wants to rest at the woodman's house, but she's awoken by Samarie, breathing heavily. She's rightfully distressed, and asks what she's doing, but Samarie runs. What was her problem? So, she finds the mayor's manor. Yes, maybe she can find out what's happened to Pre-Evil, get some answers. It's gone so much worse than she remembered. Unfortunately, she doesn't get any answers, and the mayor's kidnapped her. Damn it. And she gets locked into a room. But don't you worry, Marina is a smart girl. That's not the mayor, but someone from the train. What's happened to Pre-Evil? Thankfully, she has a small key and managed to get out. On the way to the church, she sees the old bookstore. Marina loved that store and spent hours there reading. Life was so much simpler and easier too. Bless her, she can't hold back and wants to do a little reading. Well, too much reading. But then she finally sets off to the church. Marina enters the church, and there's the girl from before, Samarie, and her father, the man who's always shown disdain and loathing towards her. That's the man who's going to give her the answers she's been looking for. But wait, she hides and witnesses the commotion between them. Samarie needs to affirm that who she's speaking to is Father Dominic, and she's here because of Marina. This annoys Father Dominic. He explains that he and his mother died in his eyes a long time ago, misgendering Marina. Samarie snaps back and reveals he is the last thing between her and Marina. He needs to go for her to be happy. Dominic is mad, aggressive. She's here? Now gendering his daughter correctly. Samarie ignores him and belittles him for putting Marina through so much. She wants him gone too. No more. Dominic has grabbed Samarie and starts attacking her. Now he's the one who wants the answers. This is so bad. Samarie's body has been through so much due to the ninth circle. It's deformed, abused, and deteriorating. It's literally falling apart. For someone to touch her, to attack her, this is a massive no-no. Alarms are ringing inside of her, not to mention that person is someone she hates, and her beloved hates too. It makes it even worse. It needs to end. It needs to end. Now. It needs to end. In self-defense, she stabs Father Dominic again and again and again and again. Then regret starts whispering in Samarie's mind. What has she done? What has she done? Then she runs. Marina could have said something, done something while this happened, but fear has got to her. Who knows? She might have made the situation worse. But wait, her father's still alive, just barely. Even at the point of dying, Father Dominic still holds hatred towards his daughter, his Marina. The letter supposedly was meant to keep her away. Was it though? We just don't know. There are several outcomes for Samarie. She could be sent back to the train, and Marina could learn more about her. Hell, maybe they even become friends. Who knows? Or, alternatively, she turns to Dysmorphia and has to fight a tough battle. In the end, her journey was for naught. She's learnt nothing. How did her mother die? What happened to Primeval? These questions could have been answered by her father, but Samarie stole that opportunity away. Maybe Samarie saved Marina. Maybe her father Dominic had plans for Marina. Bad ones that involved blood magic. We just don't know. Marina will never know. And that is Marina's story in Fahrenheit 2 Termina. Wow, that was kind of depressing. Marina's story reminds me a lot of James Sunderland's story from Silent Hill 2. Both get a letter, both want to find answers, they both get locked in a room, they both return to a place that gave them comfort, the town they go to has a religious connection, they encounter other people and monsters. The difference is James gets the answers he's looking for, Marina doesn't. Well, James always knew the answers, he just suppressed his memory. But you know, I think that's worse. Marina not finding out the answers she wanted, that means Marina can only ponder what happened. Now, before I explain why Marina is such a great representation for trans people, and how I, a trans woman, can relate to her, I want to go over other details that I didn't include in Marina's story, because I didn't want to overload you with too much information in this section. At the current recording of this video, there are only 3 endings in Fahrenheit 2. There's ending A, B, and C. A and C are the ones that every character can get, and they're pretty much identical. There are slight differences, but they don't matter much with Marina. Then there is ending B. This ending is the character endings, meaning every character has their own unique ending after the events of Termina. To get ending B, only one character out of the 14 can survive, and they have to flip off the moon god. Let's look at Marina's ending B. We get this cute picture of Marina and Samarie? To get ending B, everyone is dead. That includes Samarie. Oh no! Anyway, Thanks to the traumatic events that took place in Pre-Evil, Marina finally cut off all ties to her old life. Growing up in Ulmer Church, having a horrible father. It's a bittersweet ending because she didn't get the answers she wanted, and her mother was the only person in her past that gave her happiness. And Marina has to let go of her. The one person who gave her happiness. But she's truly free now from her past. Then, understandably, she's not too keen on continuing her studies because of the horrors she's seen. For real, she understands that some things humans were never meant to touch. Years later, Marina drifted away and moved to the country. It was tough for her to settle in and connect to people, because she knows too much. But it turns out the people there are just like Marina, and they wanted a life away from all that religion mumbo-jumbo. Everyone had baggage, and no one judges you. That must have been so nice for Marina, living a life filled with others' judgment. Now, she's free of that burden. Of course, it's not like Marina abandoned her occultist powers, because occultists are based. It's just made her life easier. And that's the best use of magic. Using it for the little things. Twist! Even though everything for Marina was going really well, really hella nice, someone's photobombing her. She's not bad. Hell, she wants to be Marina's friend. For a long time, apparently. Who is she, though? But she is kind of annoying. And that's Marina's ending B. This is arguably one of the more happier endings in the game. Other characters aren't so lucky. It's nice when characters get a happy ending. I'm not against happy endings, by the way. They can be earned, and Marina definitely earns it. A really cute detail I think is so sweet that even after death, Marina's mother gave her daughter a happy ending. Thanks to her actions when Marina was born, she helped her baby escape the fate of Pre-Evil to live a happy life. And 18 years later, her baby escaped again to live a happier life. The power of love, baby. Marina deserves a happy ending. She's made friends and found peace. Now the elephant in the room. What the hell is Samarie doing here? The most popular theory is that Samarie is a doppelganger. Since they are friendly and inherit the memories of the OGs, Samarie wants to still be friends with Marina, of course. Also, they inherited her shyness? She's keeping distance. That makes a lot of sense. However, I do have a theory myself, and it's to do with connections. Samarie talks about their world, making sure it's free of any taint, etc. This reminds me a lot of Donnie Darko. To keep it brief, in that movie, Donnie messed with the universe by not killing himself, and the universe will end because of it. As a last-ditch effort to save itself, the universe makes a temporary one so Donnie can fix the wrong he caused. So, he then kills himself in the end of the movie, and the universe is saved. There's this also cool suicide timer that's planted into Donnie Darko's arm, and I totally want that as a tattoo. Anyway, the movie's a masterpiece, 10 out of 10, but it's a homework movie. Watch it once, you get confused, but do research, and watch it again, and it's super smart. You're rewarded to think about it, and there are so many interpretations. Just saying, I made a video about Donnie Darko, and talking about my interpretation of the movie. You can totally watch that if you want. Just saying. How does this relate to Marina and Samarie? Well, flip it. Instead of the universe, it's Marina's life. Instead of a temporary one being made, it's a temporary Samarie. Marina will die if Samarie isn't around. They are connected. A new Samarie will appear since she hasn't got long left to live for, her body, limited time. So as long as she's near Marina, Marina will live. It's just a theory. A game theory. It's probably not true. And honestly, I don't know if we will ever get an answer. Samarie's dialogue really reminded me of Donnie Darko. That's why I'm bringing it up, really. I also want to mention that Marina describes Samarie as annoying. For what it's worth, Marina doesn't hate Samarie. And that's nice. Really nice. Ooh, we get to talk about the Moonscorched forms! Honestly, this is in my opinion one of the best events that happened in the game. I already referenced the Moonscorched forms earlier, but let me explain it more here. Almost every participant at the festival has a Moonscorched form. When the final moments of the festival is occurring and there are still participants alive, they will be transformed into their Moonscorched forms. To name a few, Olivia turns into the mechanical dance. Dan turns into Pocket Cat. Meow. Abella turns into Chayuga. I don't know, I'm probably butchering that, but you know. Elephant. Karen turns into Valkyrie. You get the picture. What's cool about them is that they're not just monsters, but their designs reflect the personality of the characters. So let's look into a little more detail with Marina's and Samarie's Moonscorched forms. Marina transforms into Cocoon. What's unique about her one is that there are two parts of the transformation, an actual cocoon body, and what appears to be Marina, but different. Older, even. This is clearly a trans metaphor. The symbolism is so clear. How the caterpillar was one life, then turns into a cocoon to blossom as a butterfly, their true selves. You know, in real life it's more complicated because, you know, identity is complex. But that's the simple rundown of it. This is my favourite Moonscorched form. It's unique, beautiful, and truly represents and reflects on who Marina is. Also, you can't spell transformation without trans. Samarie, as mentioned earlier, transforms into Dysmorphia. I love her design a lot. Samarie was abused and her body is deformed, so it makes sense her Moonscorched form is full of marks, lines, cuts. Again, the metaphor and symbolism is very clear with Samarie's Moonscorched form. Samarie is very sensitive about her body due to the abuse she endured. Remember, she only attacked Dominic when he grabbed her and attacked her first? In addition, Dysmorphia's head is so pure, pretty. It's like a god symbol, even. This is referencing why she went through all that abuse. Some people wanted to appease some old gods. Easily second after Marina's one. Hands down, the second best. I know I have bias. I don't care. This woman loves both Marina and Samarie, so you can suck it. What's that over there? I want to mention one more. Technically, it's not a Moonscorched form, however, it made the most sense to mention them here. That's Father Dominic turning into a wall. Many people, including myself, have a theory that the reason why the wall is so vile looking is because it represents the evil soul inside Father Dominic. This actually reminds me when a character in Game of Thrones dies and their body smells like rotting vile shit, and that's because it's clear symbolism of how evil the character is. That's my take on it. Plus, it makes it even sadder for Marina that this is the result of her returning back home. This is her only answer she got. It's a fucking pillar of fucking human flesh. Jesus. Sorry, Ulmer. These don't really add to Marina's story, but I want to mention them anyway. There are Jupiganjas in the game, 4 of them. Tanaka, Levi, Olivia, and Marina all have one. We don't know the origins of them. Why are they there? How are they doing? What's up? They seem really friendly, and they won't attack you unless you attack them first. And what's really interesting is that some of them have memories of the OGs. Marina has one, and if Marina is in your party and sees her own one, she freaks the fuck out and wants it dead. And that's really it. They seem okay, but Marina's one wants to eat you whole. But yeah, Marina has one, just saying, that's it really. It doesn't really add to her story, so you know, it's there. There's also this cute scene where Dan refuses to serve Marina alcohol. He asks for ID, Marina doesn't have any, no service. It's nice to have these cute moments like this. This was actually a really funny moment. Then there's a scene with Pav being a creep towards Marina. I don't know what to say. Pav plays literally no role in her story at all. Some have speculated it's just an act. I don't know. I like Pav, I think he looks cool and stuff, but like, I don't know what to say. It's there. Meh. Lastly, this one is easily missed. You could argue it's related to Marina's story, but I don't think so. Let me explain. If you kill a contestant early by the train, you get tied up until day 3 when everyone has turned into their Moonscorched form. You can't do much, you know, being tied up and all. And I actually like this mechanic. I'm glad it's in the game because it's like, it basically prevents you from, you know, trying to kill everyone early on. If you do this as a Marina, eventually Samarie will pop out of her cabin and run past her. Regardless of what dialogue choice you pick, she ignores her. So then the question rises, why doesn't she help Marina? There are 2 theories to this. One from the community and one of my own. So the one from the community states that she's scared of her since she knows she's killed someone. I don't like this one because her love for Marina is so high, I don't think she'll be scared of her. My theory is that I believe she sees it as a chance to get to Father Dominic before Marina can, since she's tied up. This is her best chance to do so. It's like a present given to Samarie. And that's it for the additional details. I don't know, there might be more out there, but ultimately, you know, they don't really impact Marina's story. It's your girl, Marceline here, and I'm editing. Well, actually no, I'm about to start editing. Like, I've done my script, I've done my voiceover, I'm about to start editing, and then this video pops up by no commentary. Fear and Hunger, Marina's birthday and all gifts. Wow, I didn't know that. I've been playing this game for a very long time now, and there's so much little things that you can discover. I didn't know this. And it's even funny that you can even offer heroin to her. And she's like, say no to drugs, kids. Oh god, I love this game so much. But yeah, I guess Marina's birthday is a thing. I didn't know that. Best girl, best girl. Also, I guess this counts as additional information, but you can't spell Marina or Samarie without spelling Ma. So yeah, like my name is in their names. It was destiny for me to fall in love with these characters. Ah! With Marina's story and the other extra details covered, I'm now going to try my best to explain why she is a great example of trans representation. If you ask trans people what makes good trans representation, well, you're gonna get different answers. There are many trans people from all walks of life, and that's actually amazing. So, as a trans person, I have to explain why I personally think Marina is a great representation for trans people, but if there are any trans people watching this video and you want to add your own input, please do. So here we go. In my opinion, great trans representation is about the trans character being treated like a person. Like a regular person. Trans people are people. I don't want trans characters to get special treatment or being overpowered or the chosen one. We're people, and we want to be treated like people. Marina is treated like one. All the playable characters can die in many and horrible ways in Fear and Hunger 2 Termina. That includes Marina. Just because she's trans doesn't mean she should get any special treatment. She doesn't have a escape out of any death card. She's a person, like the others, who can die. She has traits, strengths, weaknesses, such as being the only character who can use the engrave skill, which is very powerful, but she can't wield two-handed weapons. That's a yikes, because the best weapons in the game are two-handed! Like regular people, we all have strengths and weaknesses. Marina isn't treated differently. That's what I love about her. She's a regular person. She's an interesting character that isn't overshadowed by her being trans. She's an amazing character who is trans. Now yes, being trans did impact her life, avoiding the cruel rituals in the Ulmer church. I'm not trying to take that away, neither is the game. It does get brought up, and it feels really natural. Like her father, someone like him is gonna bring it up. Or when Marina is thinking and reflecting on her past. That's a difficult thing to juggle and to write, and in my opinion, my role has beautifully struck that balance. Marina being trans isn't ignored, and she's an amazing character. She's a person like you and me. There are many ways to represent trans people. This is not me saying, this is the best way, what I am saying is, for me, Marina is an amazing trans representation. She feels like a real person, someone I could hang out with and be friends with. She's like an actual person. She has feelings and opinions, she has agency, her own motivations, dreams like we do. So yeah, coming up in the next section, you will learn more why I really love and connect and relate to Marina. Before that, I just want to thank Myro, the dev, the handsome devil who made the Fear and 100 games. They didn't have to make a trans character. They could have made Marina born as a female, and Father Dominic hated his wife for not birthing a son, blah blah blah. But no, they wanted to make a trans character, and did so with so much care and sensitivity. They actually care. They put the effort to make her amazing and be like us, regular people. They do care. I actually cosplayed as Marina, and they saw it, and they left a really nice comment and said my cosplay did Marina justice. Yeah, they really care, and I actually cried when I saw the reply. Thank you, Myro. Your games and your characters are so beautiful. Before times 2, I'm sorry, I keep adding things to these sections. I have to say this. Having a trans character well written in a horror game is actually amazing. Like, not only just in horror, but in a great horror game. We don't get enough of this, and it's bloody amazing. We need more, of course, but the fact that out of all the mediums out there, a really great horror game has a trans character that's so well written. I love it, we need more. So, I really struggled to write this section because of how personal it is. I even broke down and I cried, but it's important to talk about how I relate to Marina and to Samarie in some ways, because this is the biggest motivation to make this video. Having that connection with Marina, it felt like I had to make this video, and I wanna be honest, it took a lot out of me. So let's start off with how I do not relate to Marina. I know, this section is about how I relate to her, and I'm starting with how I don't. I think it's important to talk about that too, because we are not these characters. It's okay we relate to them, and sometimes that connection can make us feel accepted, but we are not them. So obviously, the occultist power, which is always based. I can't use magic. Feels bad. I wish I could. Then there is her confidence when speaking to others. I am a very shy girl. I don't know where Marina gets her charms from, but damn, that girl is a total queen. The biggest one, I haven't gone through a Battle Royale festival where the moon god wants people to kill each other and give people Moonscorched forms. I would piss my pants if I was involved in that sort of thing. And me and Marina's identity journey. She's embraced it and had no issues, which must have been really nice, because I spent 5 years being conflicted and hating myself and my body and questioning myself. Identity stuff is so wild. But I'm so happy she didn't have a messy journey like me. She's cute, and I love her, and I'm not jealous, by the way. I'm very happy for her. She deserves to be happy, and I'm glad she's found herself. It's nice. Okay, so a little humour out of the way. I wanted to introduce some laughs, because now it's gotta be very serious. So, how I connect to Marina is the whole religion aspect. Living with a family that's culture is heavily tainted by it. Let me say it now, that religion is Islam. In particular, my family is definitely on the side of conservative Islam. Living in that household, in that type of culture, is not nice. Having a father who's engulfed in it, who demands his children to follow it to a T. To name one example, art, according to Islam, is a sin. Only God creates, and art can be worshipped. When I was younger, I once bought a Super Sonico figure. He hated it so much, he smashed it, and yelled at me and called me weak and pathetic. In this household, being yourself is bad. Expressing and being independent is bad. Even till this day, I get told off for cosplaying and playing video games. Yet, I should waste my time praying 5 times a day. So, okay. I'm not the only one on this earth that lives in an awful religious household. Marina escaped that fate. So, how do I relate to her? How does Marcy relate to Marina? Well, my mama saved me, in a way like Marina's mama did for her baby. So when I was very young, like 5 to 7 years old, my father wanted me and my older brother to witness a cow being killed to become halal meat. In other words, a slaughter, a ritual for God. It's meant to make the food be acceptable to be devoured in God's eyes. It's a holy moment, a just moment. And what do? In this holy moment, they behead the animal or split the animal's throat open while it's alive and awake. In Western countries, they have to stun the animal first, but no, that's not right. To truly do it, it's gotta be alive and awake. My dad wanted his children to witness this. What a wonderful dad. Apparently, his dad made him see it when he was a kid. Even if I was an adult, this is still a horrible thing to witness, let alone a child witnessing this. I didn't though. My mama was like, no, Marcy's gotta stay with the women. This tipped off my dad. He got so mad. And this also indirectly saved my brother from witnessing it too, because he bragged to people he knew that his children would go witness it, because they're men. For real, pride and shame is a big thing in Islamic households. It's not exactly like Marina's story, but when I read what Marina's mama did for her, it reminded me of what my mama did for me. Mothers, they find a way to save their babies. Then there's my mama raising me in a feminine way. Especially when I was younger, my mama would let my older sister put makeup on me, make me play with dolls, and make me wear wigs and skirts. I honestly don't know why she did this. I think she wanted a daughter at the time. Well, she has one now. In addition, the whole first male born aspect comes into it. Umar and its cruel rituals for first male borns. In my household, it's a very big deal. They get the most respect, are favoured. My sister, who is the eldest, doesn't get the same respect as my older brother. And apparently this was a thing with my father too. He was the second son, and he wasn't treated well. I don't know why religions care about first male born so much. Then there's me wanting to be myself, like Marina and her studying. That struggle. Marina and I try to be ourselves, but our family, especially our father, is against it. Religion takes away self. We have to fight to be ourselves. The systems of religion steal that. You are nothing but a thing, a shell, a drone, if you serve. To fight for yourself. That's so fucking difficult. Wanting to be happy. Why? Oh, why does it cost so much? So I also want to mention Samarie. The idea of the ninth circle is a group that sacrifices children to appease the old gods. It's actually kinda similar to systems that take place in religion. To name a few I personally can relate to. A period of fasting that everyone has to do. No water, no food, to prove your devotion to God. Attending mosques at Fridays, going to several schools every weekend. I did that when I was a kid. I had to wake up so early in the morning, it was horrible. It's not just with religion, but the system of capitalism. It makes us all sacrifice our bodies to live, not even to be happy, just to live. It's hella horrible. Finally, there is her ending. I want that a lot. Go somewhere nice, make friends, and just be at peace. Hell, even make friends with someone annoying. Sorry, I'm down at the moment. I had to make a joke. I've never been so personal in a video before. I hope you can see now how I fell in love with and connect with Marina. When I came out as trans, it's scary. It's still scary right now, actually. People out there will always want my kind to disappear, but it's characters like Marina who gives me strength to be proud, to keep fighting to be myself. If she can go through hell and back and get a happy ending, a peaceful ending, so can I. I love you, Marina. I love you so much. I've been waiting for you, truly holding my breath. And in waiting for you, I'm only waiting for death. Shedding tears time to time, seems I'll never forget. Little thought in my head, fiction finds happiness. I have tried letting go, something's holding me down. Must be tied to my wrist, there's no fixing me now. Please get out of my head, since you never did show. You're much too real to be someone I'll never know. How did this happen to me? I need something to blame. It's the right time and day, but my train never came. You think that I haven't tried to forget and move on. I'm still stuck in your eyes, you're still stuck in my song. To really hold you instead of just the thought in my head, or the dream in my bed, or the hope when I'm dead. It only shackles me now, this feeling deeper than love, the shattered half that I lost, my soulmate, Marina. The funny thing is, Fear 102 Termina is still being developed. Myro wants to add tons of things to it. From what I know, it's going to be another 2 to 3 years from now till the game is fully done. New areas, new endings, making all 14 participants playable, etc. Meaning, the information in this video could be outdated. Events could have new context, or whole new events could be added. For example, if Samarie is a playable character, we will definitely learn more about her. Different point of views. Every character is like this. Maybe when we enter the church in day 2, we see Marina confront her father, and maybe she dies instead of Dominic. I don't know, anything could happen. So, I'm gonna break one of my YouTube rules when I make content, and that is to make a follow-up video, if it's needed. I hate doing that. I hate follow-up videos or part 2 of a video, because I'd rather make one big video that covers everything. If I may expand upon a little, what I like to do is put a video on my second channel if it's like a little expansion. For example, I did this for my Dark Souls opinion piece. One video for the main channel, which is like the big one, and an additional video goes onto my second channel. However, for this one time only, maybe, I will bite my pride and I will make a follow-up video and post it to my main channel. If I'm gonna break my rule, I'm gonna do it for Marina, Samarie, and Myro. Fuck it. That was a Moonscorched of a video. I've made so many videos so far, and this one was the hardest to make. I hope I did justice to Marina, Samarie, Myro with this video. I'm still kind of in awe that I managed to make a video that's really personal. I always told myself that I would try not to get too personal when it comes to private life, because I prefer to separate that with my YouTube content, but yeah, it felt right to do so in this video. Finding my identity is a messy journey. It's amazing how a fictional character that is relatable can really make a huge difference. I love Marina so much. She may not be real, but she will always be in my heart. This video has many things, explaining Marina and Samarie's story, trans representation, and me connecting to them. I hope I did it justice. I do plan to make lots more Fear 100 videos, most likely shorter ones. If you raiders want a more in-depth look at the characters, like all of them, because all of them are well written and interesting, I don't know, I might make more videos like this one. Like just going deep dive into each one. But I don't know, that's a lot of work. Maybe, I don't know. But I also want to thank Myro again. Like I mentioned in my Steam review, this type of horror in their games is truly grim, vile, ugly, cruel horror. It's something we barely get nowadays. We really need to support Myro. And Myro, make a Patreon or have a donation page, you handsome devil. I want to give you money. Please, 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 raiders, support them. Honestly, they're my favorite dev. Show them love, yeah? Thank you, raiders, for watching this video. This video is so important to me, and it means a lot that you've stayed till the end. But wait, this video isn't over yet. As I keep saying, I will never ask for likes on my videos, subs to the channel, pledge to my Patreon, etc. Because in my opinion, it's up to you raiders to do so if you want to. However, when it comes to those who have contributed to my video in big or small ways, I will always give a massive shout out. Riley is the fabulous artist who worked on the thumbnail of this video, like all of it, like the characters and the background, and they made the wonderful art of Marina and Samarie embracing during the song segment. They did such a good job. Riley previously only worked on not safe for work art, and they'd never done this sort of work before, but they took on the challenge anyway, and I am so proud to use their art in this video, the thumbnail, the art in the song segment. They're amazing. I'm proud of them. And you know what? I think Marina and Samarie would be too. Their Linktree link is in the description. Show Riley some love and support them. Commission them. They're also a sets worker, and if this lady may say so, a really good one. Like, really good. Hella good. And of course, not safe for work warning. They are not for safe for work creator, so you've been warned. So yeah, go give them some love. That's an order.